Hey friends, today we are going to use something called perspective to create space in our art. Not space like outer space, but we are going to draw some outer space. Space in art is either the physical space something occupies as a sculpture, or the space between and around things. One way artists create space in art is through perspective. Using perspective, you can make pictures look like they're going way off into the distance, kind of like you're standing in one space and looking far away. We're going to use perspective to create our very own imaginary planet scene. You are going to be able to get as creative and wild as you want to, using some tips and tricks to create the illusion of distance. Do you see how this kind of wild little alien castle I dreamed up looks close up, and this one looks really far away? The same with these plants, my rainbow trees. This one looks like it's much closer to us, and this one is way back in the distance. The trick to this is to think about size and position. When you're drawing perspective, think about your paper broken up into 3 different sections, and I'm going to kind of block them for you. There's what we call the foreground, which is the closest to the viewer and the closest to the bottom of your page. Your middle ground goes up to your horizon line. Remember, the horizon line is where the sky and the ground come together. In the middle ground, things start getting smaller and they start moving higher up on the page. And then finally, your background, your sky area. So to create the illusion of distance, we make sure that the things in the foreground, the things that are closest to us, are lower down on the page and larger in size. As they move up your page, they get smaller, and that makes it look like they're farther away. They're not actually farther away, they're just higher up on the page and smaller, just like this. Bigger, lower on the page, higher on the page, and higher on the page, and smaller. Same with the lines in the road. Bigger, and getting smaller as we move higher up to our horizon line. Okay? So just remember that. Position and size, and you can create your very own picture that has the illusion of space. And we're going to make some space with our space. So get a paper, get a pencil, and anything you want to add color with. And let's get started.
For this project, make sure you begin with your picture in landscape, which means long ways. Draw a horizontal line from one side of your page to the next. That's your sky and your ground, and where they come together is our horizon line, right? The ground comes all the way up to the horizon line, and the sky comes all the way down. We're going to add one point in the middle of our horizon line. That's called our vanishing point. Now draw a diagonal line from that point all the way to the bottom of your paper. And another one. Now you have a big triangle. We'll use this to make a road. Let's make some lines in our road to make it look like it has distance. I'm going to start with a rectangle at the bottom of my paper. Remember, that's the closest thing up, so it's going to be the biggest. And as I move along up my page, I'm going to get smaller. Just like if you were standing on the road, looking down it, the lines in the road would get smaller. Work all the way up to your vanishing point, making smaller and smaller rectangles until they disappear. Does that look like a road going off into the distance? It does to me. Now let's add some more things. Maybe we could add some trees. Since we're making our own imaginary planet scene, you can make trees, you can make bushes, you can make whatever you could dream up, but make sure the one that's closest to the viewer is the lowest on the page and the biggest. I'm just going to add some kind of strange greenery here. I don't really know where I'm going with my imaginary planet scene, but I think I do want some trees. If your horizon line runs through the image you created, erase it. You can't see through a tree. Now let's add another one. Remember, if I want to make it look like it's going off into the distance, I come up on my page and I make it smaller. 1 vertical line and 2 vertical lines. Notice that the lines I used for my trunk are vertical. It's smaller as it goes back into space and higher on the page. Erase that horizon line. And I'm going to add another one, I think. One more. Making vertical lines. That means straight up and down, not leaning over, straight up and down with the side of my paper. And erasing any horizon line I might need. 1, 2, and 3 trees that go back into the distance just by changing the size and the position. Now I don't know what to add. I think I'm gonna add some kind of dwelling, some kind of living space for whatever creature lives on my planet. And I think they're gonna live in some kind of dome. So I'm gonna draw a triangle shape or a cone. And I'm gonna add a whole bunch of these to go back into space. But this one is the closest to the viewer, so it is the closest to the bottom of the page, and it is the biggest one. You do not have to copy me. You can make whatever you want, as long as you follow that rule. Let's make one farther away. Go higher on your page and make it smaller. 2 simple rules, size and position. You can move over, it doesn't have to be in a line. See, I just went higher on my page, but I went out of the line they were in. I erased my horizon line, and it looks like I have a little one very, very far away. Do you see how that creates the illusion of space, of distance? Now, just have fun. What else is on your planet? I think I've got some volcanoes that are spewing some kind of slime. You see how I did that slime where I made it smaller at the volcano where it was coming out, and as it got closer to us, I made it bigger? Add some water using ellipses. You can add some more things in the distance. But again, the closer you get to that horizon line, make things teeny tiny and bigger as they come down to the bottom of the page. Have fun. Be super creative. What is on your planet? What color is the ground? What color is the sky? You can make castles. You can make creatures. Use your imagination. Only 2 things you need to remember are the size and position of things. Use perspective and your imagination and make your own super creative planet. I can't wait to see what you come up with.